Hey everybody, welcome back. Northern Lion Plays Chess. We're going to go back with a 10-minute games today, and we're just going to try to have sound fundamentals, and if there's one thing I want to remember, it's don't waste time. We don't need to move at bullet speed. Like that would, even though we knew what we were doing there, that was slightly too fast. But we don't have to play slowly. You know what I mean? I think that's the meat of what I'm trying to get across here. We don't have to play slowly. We can stop falling behind on time. You might say, but NL, it seems like you're falling behind on time here. That's because I don't know what to play. I feel like what we actually want to play is D takes E5. Because I want to develop this bishop before we play E6 and then C5. So I think we want to play D takes E5, knight takes, bishop to F5. They'll do something. And then we can push this pawn and our bishop is no longer like useless. That's the way I see it, at least, but I don't know. We'll see how this works, okay? Because we want to take more time to think about our moves, but like a lot of the reason I'm taking so much time is not because of the fact that I'm thinking, it's because of the fact that I'm talking. So we have to be careful because, like, you know, they might play bishop to D3. You might say, like, oh, good chance to develop the knight. I very much disagree. Because obviously, like, you know, if they do bishop to d3 and I do knight to f6, they take and I'm in check. We pretty much have to take back like that, and then we just lose our bishop for free. We can't take the bishop in response first because we'll be put in check by the knight that goes to f6. All right. This is a foreign feeling to be ahead on time? What flag is that? It's a cool flag. Is that like Laos? Mongolia, I should have known. And then the Garfield avatar. High-res Garfield. An interesting move, to be certain. You know, you might say something like, what about, like, e6? I do like e6. Our intention at some point is to... No, you know what we do here? Like, we do want to play e6 at some point. What we want to do here is h6. Force the knight to move into a bad position. If it moves here, we love it. If it moves here, it blocks that knight in. We love this a lot. We can start putting pressure on over here. We do have to keep in mind the bishop covers the knight. So here's what I'm worried about. h6, take. Take. Like, I don't, you know what? Like, if he wants to get weird with it, let's let him get weird with it. That's my current take. If he wants to give up the piece, then by all means. I would love to see it, to give up the piece to create such a bold attack. So let's look at his lines, right? He only has two options, I think. He's either going to do this, which I think is probably, believe it or not, what the engine might decide is the best move. Just because it creates... It really puts my king side in disarray. Okay, so he's not going to do that. I love this position. I don't think it grants us that much, but I think, like, he's in a bad spot because of the loss of tempo. So we're going to just take that tempo, and we're going to develop, you know, with knight to f6, and we'll be looking for this in the future. We don't even have to push to c5. You know, we'll just play e6 at some point, and then maybe, you know, we have that check opened up. You knew something like this was possible. Personally, I don't really mind. I think instead we'll actually just pin his queen. I really like this knight having to stay here. Because, like, it's really bad. Like, he needs to develop this knight, the castle, at some point. Honestly, I don't really know what that move is doing for him. So I think we will continue with our plan and just play, you know, pawn to e6. The psychology here is we're going to get the bishop developed probably to d6. But, yeah, no, probably to d6. Normally you might look at, like, e7 to prevent the pin, or at least, like, reinforce this diagonal. But there's no need because we've already played h6. Now, this is an interesting one. My general tendency is I like to force this situation right here. Admittedly, well, like, here's the thing. Like, here, take is fine. You know, we lose a knight, we get 2 pawns. It's a material loss, but it destroys the king's side. He does have a pretty strong queen side. Like, he could castle on that queen side without it being a big deal. He wants to get that knight out of there, which, of course, makes perfect sense. Now the knight is out of the pin. I don't think he's going to push me. I think he's going to try to castle kingside. I think at this point, like, this is a great spot for our knight. Don't get me wrong. But we don't want to move it until we resolve this situation right here. And we need to get rid of the bishop at some point because it's still kind of trapped in here, right? Like, there's no way to get around that. So I do think we want to push c5. We might play knight to d7 first so that we can get the rook out here. But I think we'll just start here. And this actually opens up a better move, knight to c6, which will also block this incredible spot for their knight to be. But, you know, we need to... So, again, like, I've decided... I think they thought I was going to not do this, which makes sense. And I do think this creates an incredible attack for them. But I love keeping them, like, pretty hemmed in over here. I'm having a great time with this. I think, at least. And, again, I want to be very clear. I don't necessarily take that as an opportunity to, like... I don't know how to explain it, right? I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, I don't mind taking that exchange. You might, and it's come up a couple of times. People think I'm, like, throwing for content. The knight for 2 pawns exchange, I will do it most of the time because I think, and you can see in my recent videos, it leads to a position that has us with a numerical, analytical advantage despite being a little bit down in material. That's the way it's looked for me, at least. Now, so I don't mind giving up a piece to create activity, even if that activity doesn't come to fruition for us. I don't mind. Okay, so this is a good move from them. They have covered the knight, because I was considering doing something like this, while also simultaneously threatening this pawn. This is a thinker. This is a thinker. I honestly, like, it's a little jank. I feel like I don't mind just playing knight to c6. And if you want to trade your powerful bishop just to get some pawn position, I'm happy to, like, have my rook under control. And then if you push it, we don't care at all. What I'm more concerned about, really, is something like this. Like bishop to g6 scares the crap out of me. Obviously I can't play that. I could take, but then we lose our bishop in exchange. I guess we would reply with something like this. Okay, so there's negatives to this. Like, this pawn is trash, but I actually don't mind this that much at all. Or do I? I don't know. Maybe I do. So being down a piece means I want to be careful about, like, trading down here. But if there's no better option, we might just look to something like this as a adequate exchange. Because we really don't want to give you this, like, for free, right? So let's do something like this. They'll probably develop the knight, would be my expectation. I'm happy with the way we've played this so far. And then, like, this is scary because we are down a piece, right? I mean, we're only down 1 point, but we're down a piece. So I really, like, you know, they're not going to castle kingside. We're both kind of underdeveloped at this point. It's an interesting position. One thing's for sure. I mean, I think you almost have to exchange. And if they do this exchange, Dunka, I might be insane, but I look at my pawns and I'm like, man, I feel like we're in an awesome position with our pawn structure. Even though we're down a little in material. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. There's a good meat to the analysis that we're going to get out of this game, in my opinion. Let's put it that way. I think there will definitely be some lessons to be learned in the analysis here. And I got to tell you, I'm feeling the chess bug again, man. I went through about a week or 2 week period where I was like, I wasn't like anti-chess, but it wasn't at the top of the list. And now I'm feeling the buzz again. I don't just feel the buzz to play chess. I feel the buzz to be good. I feel the ambition. He got that ambition, baby. Look in his eyes. This week he's swapping pawns. Next week it's the fries. I don't blame my opponent, by the way, for taking time on this one. Here's the line that I see from them that I think, were I the white pieces, what do I like? You almost have to swap. Because, like, if you move to the side, for example, I have, like, an awesome... Yeah, okay, well, we don't need to worry about it. And then, like, this was the line I like for them. Then you take the pawn or develop the bishop. Yeah, those are your two options. And then knight to here is going to happen at some point. I think we do the... Well, no, the exchange is tough now. Because if we do the exchange, we give them this... And then it's very hard for us to castle. And, dude, I don't know if we even want to castle now that I look at it. Because, bizarrely, they're going to castle queenside, for sure. When they castle queenside, they're going to be in a really strong position. Because we don't really have the pawns necessary to push them over. So I think our move... Check this. Like, I'm worried that after they castle, they've already got the rooks down here to launch a devastating attack. I think I do not castle this game. Full stop. Here's what I do like. I like this. You're probably going to castle queenside. Then we push. And then we use our bishop to try to get, like, an attack going over here. So whether or not this is going to work, I'm not totally sure. They might just take the pawn here. You know, because they have the ability to do it now. But I'm trying to escalate a danger level and see how they want to respond. I would like to do this, though. Like, that's... Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, I think I undervalued the strength of this super diagonal for them. But I think that they're going to get greedy, and then we're going to push. We should have pushed before. Yeah, probably the better line is push. Okay, we love to see it. And then they're not going to castle queenside, that's for sure. We do have to worry because they're going to move knight to here. It's a great spot for the knight. We're going to do bishop to here. They can threaten our knight and this pawn at the same time. We may not care. I'm not sure. But that knight's pretty good. In fact, like, to be honest with you, I was just going to say, like, the next thing we might actually do is, like, as long as we can get away with it, like, because what's happening next? Maybe like that. I think we want to, then this is the linchpin of the whole game, I think. We threaten the knight, they're going to move it. They're going to threaten these two pieces, okay? We're going to reply with something. And time is fine here. This is where we can afford to take time because we didn't waste it in the early game. I kind of want them to take the pawn. So we'll just play like... I mean, we could play that, but we could also play this. And then they're going to take the pawn. At which point, I will then do this. They'll be forced to play that. And then we're kind of in there, I think. Unless I'm missing something here, I really don't mind this. Oh, but then this is a bad spot for the bishop in this case. Because... oh, that's not how it goes. Dunka, 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 dunka. That's just the fork, man. You got to be careful about that. Okay, so we're gonna not walk into the fork, which means we're the way I actually see this going is hilarious. Actually, you move here, I'm going to go here. Following this, you might go there. If you do, we just fall back, I guess. That's not so bad. Or we could threaten you further. At some point, we're going to play king to d2. Or king to d7, I should say. And king to d7 is going to be, you know, us activating our king, but also threatening... okay, that's not the way they wanted to play it, actually. So this is an inversion of what I expected. We cannot castle, because if we castle, we just get blown out by bishop takes h6. We can't take because of the discovered check, and we lose the game, essentially. Well, and I don't think we want to play f6. It's too late. f6 is no good. In fact, as bizarre as it looks, I think what we actually like, because f6 just gets hit by that, but I think what we actually like here is g5. Normally, and I'm trying to keep my opponent under the time pressure, but normally we would consider this to be like pretty terrible. And it might very well be. I'm going to do... we can't do that right away. Okay. Well, I can't play bishop here now, which is unfortunate for me. I think instead we're going to move the pawn up one, so this move becomes less powerful. Keeps our opponent under a slight amount of time crunch. Definitely, this is an instructive and interesting game. The question I guess I have is, you know, are we going to run into a situation where, you know, time crunch is going to make somebody make a mistake? Or maybe, like, honestly, I feel content to offer a draw here, and I wouldn't consider it to be cowardice. We have to exchange, I think. And actually, now that I look at it, I think their position is vastly superior. So check this. I think we have to trade here. This knight is too powerful. And then as a result of that, I think we can afford to do... Oh, but we could get put... We can afford to do this, which doubles our rooks. The only question is, do we move our pawns first? Or do we do the exchange? We do the exchange, it makes our center stronger. So he's going to take. We need to find a way to defend this, which is not going to be super easy. But we also have some pieces we can attack. I prefer White's position. They have a bishop, obviously. That's pretty important. But I don't hate our position. They've declined the draw, which, by the way, is not unsportsmanlike. It's just the way of the world. But with a minute left, it is a slightly complicated position for them to resolve. Take. I mean, why wouldn't we take, right? We have to kind of maintain the equivalent exchange, I think. Let's get this on a white piece or a white square so that it's much harder for them to attack here. We don't mind that. It means we can't move this, but we don't really mind it. Then I'm like, I think we do this. Let's keep them having to respond. Good move. Good move. There's a lot of good moves here. Okay, we got enough time to not have to force this. I don't have a lot of options is part of my problem here. So I'm going to try to put some pressure on the bishop using the rook as a blocker. If I go here, take, absolutely blown out. No, that's all right. You don't need to create a QR code for this page. This, I really don't want to give up the open file here, but sometimes you gotta, I guess. 45 seconds left. I think we're in for a flurry of despair. I think we're about to be destroyed. We just can't defend this pawn, quite frankly, and it's about to get messy. So they're gonna play this. I'm gonna play that. This actually like is totally fine by their standards. Of course, you gotta take with the bishop. What about this check right here? 24 seconds remain. We have some problems, like namely this bishop is so powerful. I'm surprised, just because there's 15 seconds left, I'm surprised you would want to like trade me down here. But what do I know, right? This is a really good position for them, obviously. We have a pawn instead of a bishop. But I think we're going to win on time. And you know what? That's very instructive for me. I'm not bragging, oh, you should have taken my draw for when you had the chance. They actually outplayed me. And I'd say we got a little lucky, but we played a pretty solid game there, I think. We didn't, to the best of my knowledge, we didn't blunder any major moves, and we maintained a pretty interesting position. We had 83% accuracy. We were down. Actually, we played a pretty terrible game. 4 mistakes and 4 inaccuracies. No real blunders, which is nice. So let's walk through the analysis. You know, I was interested to know, is once they play knight to c3, is the exchange the way to go? It's a book move. Okay, I'll take it. And then they're like f5, that's solid as well. They don't mind this. They actually prefer the e6, which is fine. We did puzzle that out, that would be a good move. I actually think black has a mild advantage. They prefer the exchange, which is, I think, probably the first time that I didn't get weird with it. I didn't want to give them queen development, which is probably backwards, but they do not like that either. Missed win. That's their missed win, was this push, which they ended up doing anyway. And then, okay, so this is, I don't know if we ever recovered from being down here. From here, what do they probably want us to play bishop to g6. No, they want us to exchange, but then you're going to take me. Presumably. No. C takes d4 first. I guess this doesn't resolve the situation from earlier. Okay. And then what do we do? I still don't really get where we'd go from here. Okay, the bishop puts you in check. All right. And then you move the king. And then we move the bishop. And like this, I don't know, call me crazy here. I feel like we're better off like in the position that, sorry, my mistake. I feel like we're better off in the position that we actually ended up being in. But that's okay. But, you know, probably because we were not as punished as a computer would have punished us. So first things first, you should exchange the bishop here rather than like dare them into doing this. So we're down by about a rook. Not great. They're like, get that knight out of there while you got the chance. Very sensible. Worked our way back by about a pawn. They're like, good move. Good move. Good move. So we're down by about a piece. Started to work our way out of it. Then here, they're like, you're still down by about a piece. They wanted the exchange instead of the push. And they're like, what are you doing? And then this is a good move. We're still down by about a piece. Really, like, I'm realizing we got insanely lucky to win this one. We were just getting ground down by a superior player. Now, that being said, we did win on time. I don't know if there's anything really more instructive to gain from this. I know that I said there'd be a lot of instruction from the analysis. I think the instruction was really more related to like that opening phase, but that was good. I think we learned something there, and it's always nice to get a win even if you don't deserve it. All right, so you're playing the London. What do I not like to see against the London? Matching it completely, piece for piece. And then we will develop our knight instead. And usually you want to play, I mean, this exact situation, really. You want to play this right here. And looks pretty similar. Would you look at that? We got a gamer. The gamer is playing very quickly. This is where now I'm like out of my depth, but yeah, okay, so first off, don't do this. Not a good move. I feel like this is one of those situations where you could lose the game like essentially immediately. But I do wonder, what if we played like this? No, because we can't play rook to here because then this bishop will get us. This seems like a danger level situation to me. This is a thinker. So you can play this. They could take. Then you could take. Then they take. Then you take. I don't know. It's certainly interesting. If interesting is enough for me to try something. So they're a fast gamer, one of the fastest gamers alive, and we're pretty much in the same situation here. I feel like I don't really mind this, but it's not like that good. I'm also like, man, what if we just played this? Sure, you could double my pawns. But we'd have an early open file. This isn't one of those meme openings, right? Where, like, if I make one mistake, it's all over. By the way, common situation, right? To find ourselves here and be like, oh, like, basically, we lose a lot of games. First off, we are 2 minutes down already on move 7. But we lose a lot of games due to our opponents being superior on the opening. I'm not afraid to say it. I think I have basically said to white, here, I will pay you the tax of you having a superior position because we'll have doubled pawns. Wow, they don't want it. This is staggering to me because I would take this trade in a freaking heartbeat. I'm like, you've lost your mind. I feel fantastic. Although, how are we going to stop this? Good question. I think we stop it by threatening our own. Because, like, I mean, if we go here, it's a fork take. I mean, if they want to do the same thing, I think I would just fight them on it. Like, yeah, I don't think I would really mind. We always have to be careful about this. That's the thing. So how do you stop this? There's a couple ways, you know? I mean, here's the thing, you know, I was going to say, you either go... I'm going to put you in check, I think, regardless. Just, well, I don't know, maybe that might be foolish, but I'm like, I could ruin your ability to castle just by going like this. And where are you going to go? You're going to go here? Maybe? This is stupid but fun. Wow, they're like, nah, I want a castle, dude. Okay, so now you've ruined my ability to castle. They're a quick mover. There's no doubt about that, man. So now I'm like, you know what I want to do is like I want to trade him down. Now I want to trade him down. You got your piece out here. You've made your point. I'll trade you. We do have to worry about this, but why are they moving so fast? Like, I'm just play bullet, man. You want to be a quick mover? Play bullet. So you're gonna go here. Do I do care? I kind of care because we need to find something to do here. This situation is a little scary for the record. I think we just go here. Protects us against this. We are up on material. We also now have, I'd say, a better line at this right here. Here's what I would love. Okay, so that's not the way they played it, but that's what I would have loved. Obviously, we can't leave this situation unresolved because the take leads to, it's a fork city. And if we go here, it's still a fork city. So I think we got to give it up to them. And then we got to be mighty careful. I mean, it's a spicy game, so they're going to take bishop right away. We're going to move. We're going to do this. Because this is not lost. It's just threatened. And then they have moved that back. Why is this important to us? Great question. So we need to stop something from happening here. We want to play that at some point, but we need to be able to get... you know what? This allows us to develop our bishop, which is, I guess, the next big step. The hard part here, I'm like, dude, how are we going to develop our king? Let's leave their bishop in disarray. I don't know. I kind of prefer their position, I think. So they're going to fall all the way back. Very understandable. We definitely do want to push this, but we may also wish to do something like this and then squeeze our bishop in behind, and then our king can come here, our rooks are connected. Like, that's the way I'm choosing to approach this. At some point, we know this is going to happen. I think our opponent's doing an insanely... Oh, and now, like, this is a mess, man. But our opponent's doing, like, a really good job of keeping the pressure on by leaving this move as a possibility instead of having resolved it. Because I've constantly got to pay attention to what this might create, right? So like this, I didn't mind. And I'm assuming you're going to play it like that at this point, which is, you know, probably very good for you, honestly. That, I think, is now not so bad for me. I think the next step is we have to... I'm like, dude, hold on. Your knight's kind of trapped. You either have to take it back to here, or you have to take it here, at which point you lose it. Oh, I didn't even think about that spot. What the heck? And now I'm like, dude, I can't even come here now. And we could... Okay, so you're like, what about take, then we get forked. It's terrible, man. Just terrible. And now, and then this piece is like double threading, man. Come on. Okay, so I think we have to give up this. Everything's kind of falling apart. What if... No, it's bad. And this piece is under threat now, dude. This pawn, I should say. We're in a moment of disarray. But it's not lost. It's just wild. I still want to trade him down. Okay, so we definitely, like, we have to think about the way we want to do this. We definitely don't want to take with the king. Because if we take with the king, we lose. So here's the plan to get down to a single peace situation. The plan has now failed. Do we just embrace, like, the complete and utter loss of, like, our queen side, and then or king side, and then we destroy your queen side in exchange? I don't know. Many times I've thought to myself, it might be worth trading a rook for a knight in this situation just to stay, just to stop the bleeding. This person, I'm playing against like a little mini Levy right now. And they are not afraid to get spicy with it, man. Let me tell you. They are just getting spiced up. I'm happy. We're still up by 1 in material. I think they're probably going to go here. I'm trying not to fall into any, like, knight traps. Certainly, we have 2 passed pawns here, if we can take this, and I don't see how you stop it. Okay, so they've protected that piece. We definitely go this way. And then they take this. And we start pushing, yeah. Go here. I moved so hastily, I was worried that I fell into some kind of trap, but then we just start to threaten the promotion. Probably we're looking at this next. But it's not bad. I actually like my king getting up there. These have been 2 good games. Now this is where things get hot, right? Because he had to move, otherwise this was... You lose the game. Just chill. We're still fine. I could have taken this, admittedly. But we're still fine. Because the next thing is like, take maybe. We don't know yet. And then, like, there's pushes. Like, if you take the rook, fine. We get a queen. That's a trade I'm definitely happy with. If you take, We get a queen. Okay, so there's a check. Oh, that's such a good move, you mad genius. And we're just trying to... That's a great play from them. For sure. But then, if they want to do the trade, I think we still get a queen. If they take, I think we get a queen, and then you take, and then we get a queen. They've resigned! Dude, I'm so proud of myself. This was actually like a killer game. I think we did make some mistakes. I think we were in really tight in the early game. But overall, I'm very proud of the way that this game actually went down. We were down. We did make 5 mistakes, but we played it into an awesome end game. So let's do it. We don't get too many 2-0 videos anymore. So this is like... They don't like us where we're at right now. We should have developed our bishop first. Very fair. They loved that. We puzzled that out for so long, and then they're like, you are a fool. And that's the best move. How about that? They really like White's position here, which is kind of crazy. They're like, what the heck are you doing? Missed win. Okay, so let's play that missed win out. Check. Knight to d7, maybe? No, they just like king to d8. Okay. What happens next? Castling. They blocked the threat. Okay. It makes perfect sense. Because the reason before that we were like, this is scary, is because they can't get out of it so easily, right? But if they can make a forcing move that also ruins our castling potential, then they can castle, they're out of it, and then this move is not so bad for them. That's not good. They're like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm memeing, sweetheart. And then they're like, what the heck are you doing? And now I made the move anyway. So they're like, okay. They really like our position. I think from here, we were pretty much like... Yeah, they not surprising, because we wanted to double our rooks up at some point, but... And then they're like, what the heck are you doing? What the heck is anybody doing here? It's still like, if we look at the report, like, I think this is where I never let it go. This is where, like, it got maybe close to a mathematical draw again. And we just started, this is where the fiesta started. We just started trading pawns, right? And then we got our promotion pretty much guaranteed. That was a fun game. I had a great time. I hope you guys have enjoyed the chess, as always. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. Thanks for all the support on the chess videos, and I'll see you as soon as I can record another one. See ya!